for employment, you are residing for business vocation, you are residing for uncertain period. So when we come, because it's in one of the example I have given, I will discuss with you the intention how it matters. A is a citizen of USA. He is visiting India on 1st August for medical treatment. However, the time taken for the treatment is not certain. What will be his residential status? He will be considered as a non-resident as he stay in India in 12-13 is for less than 182 days. But for 14-15 he will be considered as a resident if he stay in India in the preceding 12-13 exceeds 182 days. Okay, it should be 13-14. The typo it's not 14-15 but 13-14 next financial year. Okay, so when he comes to India, he comes for an uncertain period, but in the previous financial year his stay is not there, and therefore he would continue to remain non-resident. But if his medical treatment is elongated and he remains in India for more than 182 days, next year he would become a person resident in India. But the moment he leaves India, again he would be living for uncertain period because he would actually is a foreign citizen, maybe staying abroad for permanently. So he would become non-resident from that day.
Answer would be same for all three exceptions also.
Yes. Mr. N is a foreign citizen of non-Indian origin. He comes to India and sets up a proprietary concern in India on 30th August for carrying on business. What will be his residential status for 12-13 and 13-14? Coming India for doing business. So non-resident in 12-13, as he stay in India during the previous financial year 11-12 is less than 183 days. He will be considered as a person resident in India as he stayed in India for more than 183 days or more in the preceding financial year. Now let me tell you other view which is in the profession that okay, he would become resident from day 1, that is 12-13. The reason I am telling you, and there is a force in that argument. See, unfortunately this is a challenge. If you look at the deposit regulations, okay, now I am contradicting myself. Huh? If you look at the deposit regulation, where it says that when a person comes to India, his account should be redesignated, NRE account should be redesignated as a resident account immediately on arrival. Now, immediately on arrival, why should it be? I will redesignate only when I become a resident. It means indirectly, RBI is saying that okay, you become a resident when you come India for employment or whatever is the purpose. But this seems to be the logical, interpretation. Mr. L is a citizen of UK. He is coming to India on 1st May 2012 for taking up employment. His wife accompanied him during his stay. What will be the residential status of his wife for 12-13 and 13-14? Again, same. I have taken only employment, business vocation, and uncertain period. So wife comes for the uncertain period. The ultimate conclusion is the same. In short, a person coming to India will have to wait for a year to become a resident. Person going outside India can become non-resident immediately. Mr. K has incorporated company in Dubai. Now this is very interesting. You may encounter this kind of situation. Mr. K has incorporated a company in Dubai. He is a director of the company. Will he be considered as a person resident outside India? Day in and day out, we come with this kind of questions. So I want to become a non-resident. I set up a company and become a director. Can I be a non-resident? So as I said, intentions are more important in FEMA. Mere directorship is not sufficient. To determine the residential status of K, look at the circumstantial evidences. To ascertain his intention of stay abroad, look at the type of visa. Somebody may be going on tourist visa. Set up company and say, I have become a director, I will be non-resident. No. You have to go on a business visa if your intention should be supported by the evidence. You should have a work permit, you should have a residence permit, you should have hired an apartment. Okay, so renting an apartment, period of stay abroad, all this would be very, very relevant in determining the intention of a person. And then only you can say whether he is a resident or a non-resident. Definition of NRI. As I said, it is not there in the Act itself, but various regulations define into definitions. So the NRI is a person resident outside India who is a citizen of India or a person of Indian origin. Okay. Now, for different regulations, definitions may differ. So that is the beauty of FEMA. Different regulations, the definition may be slightly variation would be there. Okay. Now, what do you mean by the person of Indian origin? In fact, the first tag you get as an NRI, first tag, is through your bank account. You know that. Once you become a non-resident Indian, you write to your bank, kindly redesignate my account as an NRI account. And that is the first official confirmation of becoming NRI. You don't get a certificate. Some people come and ask, sir, ये NRI का certificate कहाँ से मिलेगा? I said, I can give you. It is of no use. The only certificate you get is from your banker. You have to go to your bank, tell them, and bank, and you know, the irony of the situation, I take up some lectures at the bankers training college, you know. They don't know how to determine NRI status. How do you like it? So, the best, you know, when it comes to a banker, you know, a lot of powers are given to the banks. But blissfully they are unaware of it. So I always, you know, I am reminded of that famous episode in Ramayana. You know? In Ramayana, you know, the entire Ram and everybody, you know, they located it, okay. Sita Maya is, you know, across the ocean in the Lanka. Now somebody should go and find out whether this, you know, Jatayu told it, okay, in this direction they have gone. They wanted to find out that if somebody can go that side and find out whether really Sita is there and, you know, we can go there. So, Hanuman was there. Now Hanuman could fly, but he was under a curse. That he would not know that he can fly unless somebody reminds him. And Jamban then reminded Hanuman, that you know that you can fly? He said, oh yeah, let me go. So then Hanuman flew, and he went to them, then we know everything what happened. So likewise bankers, we have to go and become a Jamban, you know. You know you have this power, please do it. Acha, is it? Show me the circular. Then apne ko sab circular, notification, everything you have to give it to them. Then they will know, okay, we'll do it now. Most of the contraventions under FEMA is because of this execution challenge, I tell you. They don't know the law. In fact, recently one of my clients has issued redeemable preferences. And bank has merely given certificate. So, he is either a person of Indian origin, means a citizen of any country other than Bangladesh or Pakistan, or very good neighbors. You know, about these two countries, again I am reminded of one story, you know. After this beautiful creation, that God created this world, you know, once we do something, we buy some car, some office, we would like to show it to people, am I right? So God also wanted to show it beautiful creation. So God one day called all the angels, come, I will show some beautiful creation. So then God started showing one country after the other. You see this beautiful country, very systematic, people are nice, everything is in system. This is America. So angels were impressed. But you know, the people are stressed, depressed, always in a hurry. So angels asked why? So God said there has to be balance, no? Yeah, fine. See this beautiful place, full of natural resources, abundant, water, but forest, everything. But people are poor. It's Africa. There has to be balance. And likewise, God started showing all the countries. But the angels looked at one particular country which God was not showing. So, which is this country? They say, oh, this is my own country, India. So beautiful topography, I said already in the beginning. Wonderful snow-peaked mountains, spiritually highly evolved. Okay, not this spiritually, real spiritually. So highly evolved, good people, warm-hearted, fantastic. And God started praising, you know. Then angel told it, okay, that's fine, but what about your balance? God said, look at the neighbors. So our balance lies in our neighbor. So he, person of Indian origin, citizen of any country other than Bangladesh or Pakistan, if he at any time held Indian passport, or he or either of his parents, any of his grandparents was a citizen of India by virtue of Constitution of India or Citizenship Act, or the person who is a spouse of an Indian citizen, or a person referred to in subsection A or B. Now look at this definition, investment in form of proprietary concern. One more country is added in our balance, Pakistan, Bangladesh and Sri Lanka. Okay. Held any time Indian passport, or he or either of his parents. So what, my point here is that whenever you look at a particular notification, look at that definition in that context and then apply that definition, okay? Again, acquisition and transfer of human property. Can you see some lines are missing? The part C is missing. The person is a spouse of an Indian citizen or a person referred to in A or B. Now here that is missing. Okay, here two, three more countries are added in our balance. Afghanistan, China, Iran, Nepal and Bhutan. So for each definition, each notification, there may be so PIO has a different meaning for different notification. Person of Indian origin. Okay. Repatriate to India means bringing into India the realized foreign exchange, okay, and selling such foreign exchange to authorized person, or holding or of realized amount in account with an authorized person to the extent it is permissible. Security means shares, stocks, bonds, debentures, all other securities and units which are the government savings certificate, applies to deposit receipts, respect of deposits of securities units of Unit Trust of India Act, established so and so. So securities is widely defined. Service means service of any description which is made available to potential users, includes provisions of facilities in connection with the banking, finance, insurance, medical assistance, legal assistance, chit fund, okay, real estate, transport, processing, supply of electrical or other. This is inclusive definition, but there is a specific exclusion, but does not include rendering of any service free of charge or under a contract of personal services. So that is not part of the service definition. Now this is very, very interesting. Transfer includes sale, purchase, exchange, mortgage, pledge, gift, loan or any other form of transfer of right, title, possession or lien. So transfer includes from both the sides. Transferor and transferee, purchase and sale, both are considered in the transfer naturally by definition. But many times, when you start interpreting the law, whether you would apply this definition of transfer where the transfer is not defined, or you would like to take a particular call. Dealing in foreign exchange, section 3, which is akin to section 8 of the FERA. Section 3 basically puts restriction on dealing in foreign exchange. What in nutshell it says that same as otherwise provided in this act, rules and regulations made thereunder, or with general or special permission of the RBI, no person shall deal in or transfer any foreign exchange to any foreign security to any person not being an authorized person, make any payment to or for the credit of any person resident outside India in any manner, or receive otherwise through an authorized person any payment by order or on behalf of any person resident outside India in any manner. Basically to prohibit any compensatory transactions, which is called a hawala transaction. You give money to somebody here and take dollars abroad, okay, or give dollars and take money here. So any transaction you do must be through a normal banking channel. Okay. And many times people ask, suppose if I withdraw from ATM and invest in a bank, invest in a company, is it not a banking channel? No, it is not permitted because you don't get FIRC. You need to have proof of investment. Okay, he said that okay, I have ATM slip, but no, sorry, that is not permissible. So you have to be very careful. Essentially what 6.4 says, a person resident in India may hold on, transfer or anything, deal with their investments abroad, provided that investment was made when he was abroad or maybe inherited or gifted from a person who was resident abroad. So basically for the returning Indians, they can keep their money and investments abroad. Similarly, 6.5, resident outside India may hold on, transfer, invest in Indian currency, security, etc. Same 6.4 ka reverse. Without prejudice to the provisions of this section, RBI may by regulation prohibit, restrict or regulate establishment in India of a branch office or any place of business by person resident outside India for carrying on any activity relating to such branch office, and therefore you need a prior approval of the branch Indian is here to take care of that particular part. Exports of goods and services. Basically it says that exporter should take all the steps to recover the foreign exchange which is due to the exporter. Okay, he should not act in a manner which is prejudicial to the receipt of the foreign exchange. And of course it talks about the furnishing of declaration so that the exports can be tracked, whether realization is maritime. Now let me last can I have 5 more minutes?
Yeah, no problem.
5-10 minutes. So I would like to take you through some challenges because this is very, very crucial. How do you identify challenges and how do you cope with that? So coping with the regulatory challenges in FEMA, there are 3 types of challenges which I have identified: policy related, ambiguity, contradictions, knowledge related, law and interpretation, and execution related, documentation and procedure. Policy related changes. 14th of August, the RBI came out with a circular, and lot of restrictions were placed on the drawing of foreign exchange. The glaring was curtailing the limit under the LRS scheme. From $2 lakh it was curtailed to $75,000 overnight, and there was a huge response, and stock market crashed and whatnot. So this is a kind of a policy related challenges. And then there was a lot of hue and cry because people had committed for buying properties, and then suddenly there was a ban on investing in more properties outside India. And then RBI had to clarify, okay, if you already made some commitments, don't worry, we'll allow. Not only that, even the ODI investment, which was 3 times, was curtailed to 1 time. Now that was a huge blow. In fact, one thing I always believed, that somewhere, we have failed in promoting Indian entrepreneurship. Today morning only we were discussing, I was coming with Dipender in the car, and Dipender was sharing that, why can't we develop companies like, Pepsi or, other big companies in different areas. I said, because we started on ODI, overseas direct investment, we allowed very recently. In fact, the entire courage, or entrepreneurship of the Indians was curtailed because we were not allowed to go out. In 70s, when there was an oil shock, India in fact shut up or closed all the overseas offices so as to preserve the foreign exchange, very scarce foreign exchange. Japan did exactly opposite. They opened up more offices abroad to market Japan. And with the result, you can see the difference between Japan and India today. Made in Japan is a brand. So we have started marketing our country very recently. And these companies and the countries are marketing from the years, ages. So, we will also come up definitely. So investments in LRS, these are policy related changes. Investments in retail sector. Now again, central government is saying something, each state government has their own view. Investment in retail sector. How can you frame a policy? Some state is allowing, some states are not allowing. Investment in pharmaceuticals. There is always, everlasting debate. Greenfield versus brownfield. What is greenfield? What is brownfield? Greenfield is supposed to be a new company, but within the company, if I have a new activity of pharma, I have never dealt within a pharma. Whether you will consider that, or I have set up a company, I have not undertaken any activity so far. Will you allow me in the greenfield, or because my company is 5 years old, it will in the brown field. So there are no clarification. Each time you have to, do for interpretation or go to Reserve Bank of India. Set up of service transaction. Now, very recently, Reserve Bank of India has allowed now set up of the goods transactions involving goods. Suppose, for example, you are selling to a overseas buyer, and you are also, sourcing some goods from that same supplier. So what happens that each time you have to make a payment, receive a payment, and you lose a lot of foreign exchange or a lot of money in conversion of rupees. So now Reserve Bank of India is allowed to set up the transaction. Not only that, the many big companies who has subsidiaries worldwide or operations worldwide, now they have started something called their internal clearing house. Because nowadays they take facilities worldwide basis. Because there is a lot of fraud within the group. Now an Indian company would take money from the bank in India and pays us 15-16% rate of interest. Whereas there is a lot of funds which is already available in European. So now they have started looking the entire group as a whole, and they have internal clearing system which allows one company to use the float of the other company. There will be national cross charge, this and that, lot of complex issues. But still, if I have to receive from one subsidiary and pay to another subsidiary from the same group, why should I get all money here? So what the clearing houses does, they give you the net either receipt or payable, and that is now being allowed under the automatic route. General permission is given, but when it comes to services, it is not given. So again, you have to go to Reserve Bank of India if there is a service transaction. Definition of a term project in the context of remittances under current account transaction. Now remittance for the project consultancy allowed up to 1 million per project. Now look at the project of a metro. Now suppose if somebody has taken up a project of supplying the brakes, somebody has taken up a project of erecting stations, whether these are separate project or you look at the metro as a whole project, one project. So again, there is no clarity. Investments in real estate sector by non-residents. Again, real estate sector, a lot of conditions are there, especially Place Note 2 of 2005. Where you have to have a minimum investment, minimum period, lock-in period, minimum area. Suppose if I have 2 plots, can I join it? Can I not join it? If I want to leave it within a period of 3 years. So there are a lot of issues which are involved in it. These are also a part of challenges which we feel. Yeah.
There is a practical challenge we are facing that
I'll come to a specific little later, please. I'll just finish. We can discuss over a cup of tea. Knowledge related challenges, calculation of average maturity of ECB. Again, how do you calculate the average maturity period of the ECB? There is no examples which are given. Definition of real sector for raising ECB. Now, for years it was prescribed real sector, and then once our client had gone ahead and taken a loan under ECB, insurance. So then we went to Reserve Bank of India. They said, no, you come for compounding. I said, why? So insurance is not a real sector. So then we asked, is it an artificial sector? No. Real sector is industrial sector. Now where do you get that meaning from? So the RBI interpretation of real sector is manufacturing sector, industrial sector, but it is not clarified. Okay. So these are the challenges. Execution related challenges, DCF valuation itself. You look at the 10 chartered account on 10 different certificates, you will get it. The wordings are different. Okay. RBI has been very sober. They accept whatever certificate we give chartered accountants. But that is true. Yeah? Startup company. The biggest problem, we had one client who has set up a company, wanted to set up a company, subsidiary company in one of the free trade zones. So we set up a company here and we said, okay, you make remittance abroad up to the limit of your authorized capital, paid up capital. Bank said, no, we want an audited balance sheet. I said, it's a newly born. Just born baby. No, just born baby not allowed. You have to have an audit. So we did audit of 2 days old company, newly born. We submitted an audit report, audited balance sheet, and then the bank allowed. So they go by letter. Again, what value you would give DCF valuation. Again, there will be challenges under income tax act valuation. ODI, calculation of net worth, financial sector. Again, now one of the condition in the financial sector, if you go under the ODI, is that you have to get permission under the regulation of the host country. Now, suppose host country does not have regulations. What do? You should not be in the caution list, RBI caution list, and this and that, and lot of challenges are there. Financial sector itself is not there. So sometimes you are in borderline cases. You have to get clarifications. LLPs, fortunately now Reserve Bank of India has come out with a clarification. Otherwise, that was a big problem. Unincorporated joint ventures. Now again, what is unincorporated joint ventures? There many a times, especially in the oil sector, there are consortiums. Okay, they common pool. Now they don't have even, you can't even call it joint venture. It is sold differently formed. And in those kind of situations, how do you remit money? How do you get your funds back or step down investments? Now, if you have set up a company under the LRS, you know that LRS, if you have set up a company abroad, suppose for example, one of our friends said that 3 residents set up a company in UAE. Now that company cannot have a step down investment if it is formed under LRS. If you go under the subsidiary route of the company to company, then you can have a step down investments. But otherwise it has to be a operating company.
This clarification for LLP that has come for FDI.
Yeah, FDI. Outbound it is not there. Yeah, outbound, you are right. So even for FDI clarification is come, but outbound, okay. Execution related challenges, the major challenge filing of FCGPR, FIRCs. Now this has nothing to do with Reserve Bank of India. This has to do with our department, internal. You file FCGPR with bank, okay, and that bank does not forward it again. Majority cases में यही होता है, वो छुट्टी पे चला जाता है बैंक, क्या करेगा बेचारा? एक दो महीने के बाद में आएगा, डोर निकल ये तो रह गया यार, अच्छा ठीक है चलो भेज देते हैं आज. Okay, so FDI bigger challenge is that you have to be after your banker to see that onward submission to Reserve Bank of India. Okay, otherwise there is a dispute.
No, Reserve Bank has come out with a clear circular. If the bank delays, you are a default.
But normally they take a lenient view in the compounding. FIRCs. Now many times the person who is remitting funds from abroad, they don't even write properly. Whether it is for the investments in shares, so equity shares, preference shares, debentures, kya hai? They don't write properly, and then you land yourself in trouble. Okay. GR form. Exports mein, what happens that, okay, you have done export, your GR form is open, your foreign buyer keeps on remitting on account payment. Now, your accounts department is also very efficient, or I would say inefficient. So they don't intimate the bank that kindly adjust this amount against this GR. And so what happens? I have seen one bank, all outstanding GR forms and advances. Okay, in suspense account or something, or on account. So GR forms are not cleared. And then you receive a sweet letter from Reserve Bank of India, GR form outstanding 100 crores. Actually, there are already payments are received. Now these matters continue for years. Can you believe? 3 years, 4 years, and then when you go to the bank, वो तो गोडाउन में गया, रिकॉर्ड तो नहीं है. So execution related challenges, compounding of offense. Now about Indians there is a joke.